Hello, this is Uoth. I'm doing a video on survival. There's a lot of survival, prepper videos out there and stuff that cover a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that they really don't cover. Um, you know, uh, what we're primarily talking about here is some really serious survival stuff. We're not talking about just hiking off in the backwoods for 2 or 3 days. Back there you can take whatever the hell you want. You pack in food, rather be ramen noodles, beef jerky, whatever. If you normally go back there to do some fishing or hunting, whatever, usually pack your food back in here. What we're talking about here today is we're talking about some serious survival. We're talking about just taking off in the mountains, and doing your survival thing. And now what we're covering mostly is like the temperate mountains, like the Rocky Mountains on the west coast or even on the east coast. You're gonna get snow. You're gonna have your different weather patterns and stuff, throughout the year. What I'm gonna first cover when having stuff is the backpack and the rack. I don't like to get backpacks that are connected to the rack, because in order to use a rack you gotta undo your backpack, you gotta undo all these damn pins and everything and stuff, and they're easy to lose. I like just to get a rack, and I like to be able to attach my backpack to the rack. Now this is a big rack, and I like this one. I bought this at the Sportman's Warehouse for 65 bucks. It was on sale. It's a really nice durable rack. Got heavy duty straps here, shoulder straps. They're not going to tear or rip on you, and that's the main thing right there. I mean, this is a 55-liter pack. I wouldn't go with anything bigger than a 75-liter pack. You can put 60 pounds in there, but the thing about it is the strap's going to hold it, and so you don't need a pack any bigger than a 75. Like I said, this is 55. But I can take this backpack off from the rack really easy, and if I'm going out today to hunt, big game or whatever, if I shoot a deer, I can quarter it up. I can put the front shoulders and the hind quarters on this rack and haul it back to camp. Haul it back to my camp really fairly easy and stuff. So it's easy to take off this pack and just use the rack. The rack also comes with some side pockets and stuff. I like to put my tripod here for my camera, but you can put a flashlight or whatever you want on there and stuff. But we'll get into that a little later, here in a minute. Over on this side, the barrel of your gun goes down into here, and then these strapped rest of the firearm, your rifle. And when it comes to firearms, you're surviving. If whatever drives you to the point to where you think you got to hit the hills to survive and live there year round for 2-3 years or whatever, or even a year, whatever, the thing about it is you got to think. You pack it, you got to haul it. You got to carry it, and so for a good survival, a lot of people rifle. A lot of people underestimate the 22. The 22 is a dang good. It's an awesome all-around weapon, rifle. You can shoot grouse with it. You can shoot rabbits. You can even shoot deer. You take out the front knee of a deer, they can't run very good, and then you can track it real easy and just take it down. But with the shotgun, you're really limited to what you can shoot with them and stuff. You got to get really close to a deer in order to shoot a deer. Of course, you can also hook a bow and arrow on there too as well, and I would prefer a recurve over a compound, because you can fashion arrows for a recurve. You can't fashion arrows for a compound. So anyway, I prefer a separate rack and then just connecting the backpack to it. Now we're like I said, we're not talking about day hikes. We're talking about going out and survive. I would have a different sleeping bag on here. This is an old cloth sleeping bag I've had for years. It's got the metal zipper. It's been a nice sleeping bag. It's lasted for a long time. It's hard to to get a hold of sleeping bags like this anymore, but I've had this since I was a kid in Scouts. But anyway, I prefer the mummy bag, a military mummy bag, or a mummy bag that is rated to at least 20 below zero. And then of course I have my ground cloth. I got my tent, this little pup tent, camouflage pup tent, that can sleep 3 people, comfortably 2, and just awesome for 1 person. It's a little dome tent. And then I have a 10 by 12 tarp here. And then I've got up here, as you can see on the hood of my truck, of my SUV, I got a 8 by 10 camouflage tent. I usually put this on the bottom. I usually lay this on the ground, then put my tent on it. And then this larger tarp I can use as sheltered over the tent, and because the tents are not waterproof. The nylon tents that you buy in Walmart or you buy in sporting goods stores and what have you stuff, they're not totally waterproof. They're water resistant. They'll still get wet. And in winters and what have you stuff, you want to keep them dry as much as possible. You don't want frost building up on them and stuff, because frost will also form on the inside. It gets so dang cold. But anyway, we'll get with that. But anyway, you don't want the weight of the snow. You don't want it snowing down on your tent, even though it's got a rain cover. You know, you don't want it snowing down directly on your tent, because that snow gets heavy after a while. And so you want to keep that off. And so, like I said, the larger 10 by 12 tarp I use as the shelter going up over my tent, and I keep the snow off my tent. But at the same time too as well, is you can drape it right over your tent. Because the nylon tents and stuff are so thin, to have a small little heat source in there, you can take one of these emergency candles here with 2 wicks, and if I put this tarp right over the top of my tent, I mean actually lay it on top of my tent, believe it or not, it'll be warm enough to keep the nip out of the tent, and it'll also be warm enough to prevent any frost from forming on the inside of the tent. And that's really, really, really important. Another thing too as well, flashlights, electrical, supplies and stuff, gear. You're gonna run out of batteries. You know what I mean? You can go to sporting goods stores, Harbor Freight. You can get these little fold-out solar panel packs that actually can recharge batteries and stuff, which is really, really nice. And if you want to get that, I plan on getting one. Then you're going to be able to keep your batteries charged up and stuff. And you can usually charge a good set of Duracell rechargeables, probably 100 times, and you can get just depending on how much you use your flashlight and stuff, you can get like anywhere from 60 to 90 hours of use out of your flashlights with each charge. But if you can, pick up a solar flashlight. You don't have to worry about batteries. This is a nice little solar flashlight. It really doesn't have a long distance penetration. It's really good for about 30 yards. It's pretty bright and stuff, then it starts dying out. But it's a real bright light. And it has your directional here. And then it's got your lamp here. And then it's also even got a flare. A red flare. Red distress signal thing. Another thing you are going to want is wherever you're at. I like to keep a state map. I'm from Utah, so I pretty much know. I've been everywhere in Utah, and so I pretty much know this. But it's nice to know. Find your north. Have yourself a really nice compass. Don't be afraid to spend some money. This is your survival stuff. This is what's saving your life. This is don't be cheap. Don't be cheap on this stuff. You get what you pay for. I've had this since I was a Boy Scout. This is a cheap Walmart one, and it works. You got to have it real level and what have you stuff. But the lens right here is actually starting to crack, and the magnifying glass is good for like reading stuff, but it doesn't start fires worth crap. Invest in a good magnifying glass. This starts fires and what have you stuff a heck of a lot easier than any flint and steel. And that's burning the crap out of my hand right there. This one right here, I can have on my hand for a couple minutes before it even starts getting warm. So invest in a really good magnifying glass. You won't be sorry. But anyway, so you have your map. You're also flint and steel. Here you're gonna have to have some good flint and steel or some waterproof matches. But again, if you're gonna be out for like months at a time or over a year or whatever, you're going to be running out of all these luxury things. And what I mean by luxury things is like these purifying pills. Do not use these things. Read the directions first, because they can be really, really harmful. But anyway, you got your actual water purifying pill, and then you got your diluter right here, your neutralizer, which actually takes some of the chemical taste out of your water and stuff. But you normally use 2 pills per liter of water, and then you let it sit for a half hour, and then wait 5 minutes, and then put in your neutralizers and stuff and let it sit for 5 minutes. And it's not all that bad. But you're going to run out of that stuff. If you have a good water filter, again, you're going to pay some good money when you stuff for a good water filter, anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks. You get what you pay for. Don't go cheap. Invest yourself in that. Invest your life into that. But anyway, your water filters are really, really good. I still suggest boiling your water while having stuff for anywhere from a minimum of 10 minutes. I like to boil it for a good 20 minutes. I don't want to be catching any bugs up there. You ain't going to have a lot of medication while having stuff, to take with you. You do want cold medication. But the thing about it is you're pretty much isolating yourself from public. And so, if as long as you're eating right and keeping your energy up and what have you and stuff, your immune system is really, really strong to fight off anything and stuff. You're kind of quarantined. You're away from everybody that has colds and stuff like that. So, you have less of a chance getting a cold out there, during the winter times and what have you and stuff, than being actually right into society and what have you stuff where it's harbored. All those germs and bugs and stuff are harbored. Okay, let's go up to the packs here. I like to tie this. I'll be tying this on my rack and stuff, because my waistband on my waist belt on my rack is too big, and the rack's too large and stuff to actually put a belt around me. So I usually end up hooking this belt to my rack. But there's a little fold-up stove. This is a really nice investment. I got this at Walmart. This little stove here is about $5, and then it comes with you can get a pack of 2 of these canned heat for about $5, $5-6. But again, and these things last you, pretty much 3 to 4 meals, and so. But this little stove thing here, this little rack here, is an awesome little investment, because the thing about it is you can even put a survival candle in here, and you can which can heat up. I like to have I got a metal cup that I bought at Walmart. That it's probably a good 16-20 ounces. I can put ramen noodle in there, and and heat it up. I can put beans in there, teas, whatever, even a mess kit can work on here really, really well. But the thing about it is even if you don't have any canned heat, you can put this right into the edge of your fire on some really hot coals, and it's going to be hot enough to cook whatever you want on there and stuff, and it's going to keep it good and sturdy and level. Rocks usually explode after they get so hot and stuff, and they can crack and pop and dump whatever you have that's sitting on top of those rocks and stuff. You could dump it off. And so this right here, you don't have to worry about it. It's aluminum and steel, and this is a really neat little investment while having stuff to have. This little can heat makes great, awesome little heaters too for tents. Like I said, it's not going to get it really toasty in there, but it's going to get it warm enough to where it's going to take the bite off of freezing cold weather, to where the frost doesn't form inside your tent, and it takes the bite out of the air. Okay, you're going to want 2 canteens or 2 at least liter bottles, you know, for your water. Again, you're going to want a metal container, whether it be in mess kit or whatever and stuff, you know, to be able to boil your water. Most all these pouches and stuff that I got here, I bought at an Army surplus store. This pouch over here, I have my binoculars in. You don't necessarily have to use it for binoculars, but anyway, I put my binoculars in there. And then this pouch over here, I have a larger directional light that I put in here, and then I got some flares here. These ain't the kind that shoot up in the sky. They're just like a flare that you see on the side of the road. They're good. They last for about 5 to 10 minutes. They're great for starting fires. They're real bright in case of emergencies, you know, and they let off a lot of light and what have you stuff, you know. And they're good for, like, you know, throw in between you and bears. You know, bears don't like them. They don't like the hiss of them and stuff, and then they're real bright again and they put off the smoke. They don't like it. But you're going to want a good machete, you know, and you're going to want a reliable pocket knife. Again, you're not going to have batteries and stuff, so I covered the solar flashlight. Your fire is your most important thing. That's your lifeline, even in the summer. You know, that's what you cook your food on. That's what keeps you know, dangerous critters away, and stuff out of your camp. They don't like the smell of the smoke and stuff. You can buy a pack of Bic lighters and stuff for under, you know, usually under $8, under $10. They usually come in a pack of 5 to 6. If you're not a smoker, one lighter can last you for a year, just making fires. It's important, like in the winter and stuff, if these things get cold, it's like it doesn't want to start. It doesn't want to light. Keep them warm. They won't fail on you unless they're out of fluid. Keep them warm. Don't get Zippos. You're going to run out of fluid at some point in time if you're out there for 6, 10 months, you know, a year, whatever. If you're out there doing some hardcore survival stuff, you know, Zippos are not the thing to get. If you're just going out for, you know, weekend snowmobile trip or whatever and stuff, you know, and you're going to pitch your tents out there in the backwoods and stuff, you know, with your snowmobiles, then yeah, you know, you can get by with that. But, you know, but anyhow, you know, I got myself a nice little hatchet. It's nice now because it's been re-welded, but the grip extended up here and there's a rivet like this one down here, right here, and it cracked on me. But this is a really nice sharp hatchet. I got this at Big 5 sporting goods stores. It's a Jeep. It's sponsored by Jeep, I guess. But it's real sharp. It's a really nice hatchet and stuff, especially now that I've had it reinforced. Hopefully it won't fail on me again. But get a good machete. Don't get any of the Walmart machetes, any of your cheap machetes. The blade breaks, the handle breaks off. This is a really nice machete. It's by, you know, it's got the impact resistant plastic on here. And it's got a really good tempered steel blade. It's a really nice machete, and it holds a really good edge for a long time. Like I said, you know, when it comes down to blades and stuff, you know, that's one of your main tools. Also get yourself a bow saw. They come with blade covers, but never ever put that saw inside your backpack. You have a plastic liner here that keeps everything dry. That's really important. Keep all of your stuff dry. If you have to buy some you know, plastic covers for your sleeping bags, you know, then do that, because you want to keep everything dry as possible. But anyway, you don't want to put a blade in here and winding stuff, because, you know, an open blade or anything that could puncture this bladder, this liner. So you want to keep everything dry. These hand warmers are nice, but again, you know, they last all day. They're the most awesome little invention wiving stuff that comes out. But the thing about it is, you run out of them. You can't pack enough of these wiving stuff. You know, even if that's all you ever packed in your backpack, full of it and stuff, it lasts you a whole winter season. What else do we got here? Snake bite kit. They're pretty much useless. But have a good sharpener for your blades. A really, really good sharpener. Twine. I cannot express, you know, the importance of twine. You can never have enough twine. I like to keep a little spool of nylon string here, you know, that to make small snares and stuff like that for squirrels, raccoons, you know, edible critters and what have you stuff when it comes down to survival. I like to keep some roll of tape. You know, here's some electrical tape and stuff. Keep a roll of electrical tape. Again, you have an emergency candle. It usually has 2 wicks. They usually come with an extra wick, so you can have 4 wicks in there. You know, in your tent, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but with the tarps, you can lay it right over the top of your tent, and if it's really biting cold, and you know, that's an extra layer. It's going to keep the heat in, because my dome tent has a screen top, and even with the rain cover on it, there's still a lot of heat that escapes out of that nylon tent, period. It just escapes out of the nylon siding. And so if you have a good tarp over the top of that, it contains the heat in there. And again, you know, canned heat or, you know, emergency candle and stuff is going to heat it up enough in there that you can dry out your socks over the candle. You can, you know, it's going to keep frost from building up on the inside of your tent, which you do not want, because it's going to get all your stuff wet in there when it thaws. And then, like I said, it takes the bite off of the real cold and stuff. So, again, all your electrical appliances and what have you and stuff, the batteries are going to run down unless you got one of those little portable solar, you know, fold out panels and stuff that can recharge your batteries and stuff. Things that take batteries, you know, they're going to be useless after you run out of batteries. I like to take a little mirror, you know, in case I have to signal, you know, an aircraft going over and stuff, in case I'm in trouble. What else? Oh, twine. Twine is, I cannot, like I said, I cannot express. You can never have enough twine. Always have yourself a good couple 100 feet and what have you stuff of 1/4-inch twine. This is parachute twine. You can buy in sporting goods stores. You can buy it in Army surplus stores. This is good twine here for like setting snares for like deer. You know, you know, that will hold you know, a thrashing deer in a snare. I have an extra tarp here. It's about a 5x8 that, you know, I'll go out and I'll you know, forge some wood and make a good stack of wood and stuff, and throw this over there and tie it down and stuff, and to keep my wood dry. You're going to want a good shovel. This is an older, you know, World War II Vietnam style shovel. It's got the tempered blade. It's really well built. It's hard to find one like this anymore nowadays in Army surplus stores and stuff. They're usually cheaper. The blade bends on you. It doesn't keep, you know, you know. This is a good tempered blade. This is good steel. And you can have like a regular shovel. You can have, you know, it more like a pick, you know, and not so much grizzly bears, but I shit you not, I can promise you, you come down on black bear's nose with that. I kid you not. They're going to think twice about messing with you. They're just going to turn around and take off. They're, you know, you're going to practically, you know, take that bear's nose right off with it. These things are awesome weapons. Good pair of gloves. You're going to want at least, you know, 3 good pairs of thermal socks, good heavy, socks to keep your feet dry and warm. You're going to want, 3 pair of lighter socks. You're going to want 3 pair of underwear. You're going to want, 3 t-shirts. You're going to want yourself, an extra change of clothes. You're going to want some thermal underwear and thermal top. Again, you in the winter and stuff, if you have a good filled jacket with a liner, you're going to have, and if you have a good knitted, if you have a good sweatshirt and knitted sweater and stuff under here, and then if you put a, if you have a raincoat and you put it over that, you're going to be plenty warm. You're going to be plenty warm. This is where I keep my raincoat and stuff, in this little pocket of this little chair. The main thing about it is staying dry. In the winter and stuff, if you start sweating really hard and stuff, you're going to have to shed stuff. So if you're not doing anything, it's going to be cold. But if you start hiking and you start, moving around and stuff, and you start sweating too much and stuff, everything's going to get damp and wet. And hypothermia is something that you do not want to get. You do not want to get. So you want a lot of, you want a, a good, set of change of clothes and stuff. Another thing too as well is you're going to want to take about 3 bars of soap. Now the thing about it is you're going to run out of toilet paper. You're out and surviving. You're out in the backwoods. You're not coming back down into society anymore. You're, for whatever reason drove you up into the hills. Society is no place where you can go. Rather, for any odd reason. Rather, you're just a survivalist that just likes experience of doing that, knowing that you can do it. It feels good to be able to know that you can survive on your own no matter what, without any money, without watching football every goddamn night, during the season. I mean, it's nice that that without all these luxuries, that we have, that makes us lazy and dependent on the system, it's nice to know that you can survive without those. So, but, like I said, whatever you can take whatever you want. You got to pack it. But there's some little chairs, it's nice to be able to sit down in your tent and stuff, and be able to write a letter or whatever and stuff, or just kick back and drink a cup of coffee. This is a nice little chair that I bought at Sportsman's Warehouse on sale for $7. It's a little fold-up chair. It's got the rubber feet on the ends of the poles. Now the thing about it is even though it's got the rubber feet, this thing will still wear a hole through the bottom of your tent. You do not want moisture getting into your tent. You do not want the floor of your tent destroyed. You don't want a bunch of ants and stuff coming in there up through the holes that you wore with this little seat in your tent. So preferably, I like this chair here, and like I said, this chair right here can fold up. It can fit behind my backpack and the rack, in between the backpack and the rack, really well. It just presses back in there. It doesn't, it has the bendable bars here and stuff, nothing real sharp and stuff that's going to penetrate, the bottom of my tent. And so, this is preferably the seat that I like. Now this seat right here, I bought at Uncle Sam's Army and Navy surplus store, and it's about $30. They're pretty expensive, but something when it comes down to stuff that you're going to want something that's going to last you, that's going to be durable and strong, that's not going to turn around and break on you and stuff. Okay, and then we have my first aid kit. You got band-aids. I have a sewing kit in there and stuff in case you have to sew yourself up. I got tape. I've got tweezers, bobby pins. I've got some spray in case I get into some poison ivy or stinging nettle, whatever and stuff. Poison oak and stuff. We don't really have a lot of that stuff around here in the West. So I just got bandages, all sorts of kind of different stuff. if you want to take a notepad, have like a daily journal and stuff, or a weekly journal, however you want to journal and stuff, it's always nice to have. In case of an emergency and stuff, and you do have to get a hold of somebody and stuff because you're hurt real bad or whatever and stuff. This is a blind. This ain't for my truck, my SUV. This is, to set up and stuff, for, for hunting purposes and stuff. Or what I use it for and stuff is I like to hide behind it and stuff and take photos of wild game. You get them right in front of you. They'll walk right up into you and stuff like that as long as they can't smell you and stuff. I customized this one. It was more of a darker green like this with tan, and I put a lighter green on there and stuff. It's more of the colors and stuff of the forest in my mountains. So I kind of customized it to blend more into with the mountain ranges and stuff in my home area and stuff where I like to go. You're gonna want a towel. Now the thing again is, like I said, you're gonna run out of toilet paper. Have some washcloths, rather it be washcloths or just some old rags and stuff like that. Take a half a dozen or a dozen of those things with you. You're also gonna want some white linen, some white bed sheets and stuff like that, old bed sheets or whatever and stuff. They work great for camouflage. You can make strips, tie around you and stuff, and kind of camouflage and stuff for the winter, but not only that too as well, bandages and stuff in case you're hurt real bad. You're gonna want some old rags or washcloths and stuff because, like I said, you're gonna run out of toilet paper, and so you're gonna have to use that to wipe yourself. Don't throw them away, just clean them out. Clean them out. Hell, when I was born, they didn't have disposable diapers. My mom was basically, diapers were like a dishcloth, you know what I mean, with safety pins. She had to laundry them, clean them out and laundry them. I mean, my hell, we've had it so good all these lives, all these years and stuff like that, that these younger generations just, they've just been spoiled. They've had it too good for too long. A lot of people don't have it in them having stuff to go out there and live off the land and take what it, has what it takes to be survivalists. But I'm showing you in here what it takes. And so use them to wipe with, wash them out in the stream, and what have you stuff. Like I said, take along 3 bars of soap and stuff so you can clean yourself off really good and stuff, and make sure it's cleaned out really, really good. Hang it up dry or reuse it. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be your toilet paper. See, is there anything else? That's pretty much it. Have warm gloves. Here's some two-way radios and stuff like this. Like I said, if you have rechargeable batteries and a little portable solar fold-out kit and what have you and stuff that you can buy at like Sportsman's Warehouse, and I think they also have it at Harbor Freight, then yeah, you can have some decent use for your electrical supplies and stuff, flashlights, radios, whatever. It's always good to also have, a audio radio, that you can listen to some music and what have you stuff, or listen to the weather and stuff like that, if it's available. But again, you got to have batteries for that and stuff. So, or some type of a solar, some type of a solar radio, or I mean, they sell those out there and stuff. I got camo paint here too, facial paint for hunting purposes and stuff, and a file. I got a wood file and a metal file. Now the thing about it is deer antlers. You can split the antlers, or you can fashion the antlers to a nice spearhead or an arrow head, and fashion your own arrows. Like I said, prefer a recurve, the older recurve bows, style of bows, over a compound, because you can fashion arrows for a recurve bow where you pretty much can't off of a branch of a tree and what have you stuff, a limb of a tree, with a compound. So a recurve bow, but you can fashion spearheads and arrowheads and what have you stuff, with this file and stuff, with using deer antlers and bone and even stone. And so, but anyway, I have a map again here of my area and stuff. When you're out surviving, the This is a nice little bugger too as well. This little wrist rocket. A lot of people underestimate these things. You can kill rabbits, you can kill grouse with this, squirrels, raccoons. You get to be a good shot and what have you stuff. These are handy little buggers to have. So the thing about it is you're not going to have a lot of the luxuries is just going out with a family camping trip, or just to go out traps and track them back in the woods and what have you stuff. Go into your favorite fishing hole and stuff for a couple nights. There you can pack all this stuff. Your batteries will last you that long. Then you're back into civilization again. As far as survival, like I said, don't pack up a lot of stuff that's only going to last you for a little while. Think about things and tools and gear that you're going to be using that's going to be lasting you a year around if you're out there that long. That's what's really, really, really important. So anyway, this is Uoth. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it's becomes useful. Like I said, there's a lot more to surviving and stuff than just gearing up. It's actually being able to know what to do and how to survive. And so I'll cover that on my next couple videos and stuff. But anyway, this is Uoth signing off. Thanks.
I'll just hit the center button.